Are your daily habits making you rich or keeping you poor? Think about your own routine for a second. Is your financial status just a product of dumb luck? Or is it secretly being scripted by what you do every single day? Well, let's dive into this, because the answer? It's entirely within your control. Consider this one, honestly kind of terrifying number, 40%. Based on the research we're unpacking today, 40% of literally everything we do on a daily basis is purely an unconscious habit. That means for almost half of our waking lives, we're basically operating on autopilot, total zombie mode. And without even realizing it, we're either steadily building wealth or we're cementing our own poverty. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a really close look at a fascinating 5-year study by Tom Corley, a certified public accountant and financial planner. He spent half a decade obsessively tracking the daily success behaviors of wealthy individuals, and then compared them directly against the habits of folks struggling in poverty. And what he found totally strips away all the mystery behind financial success. So here's our roadmap for decoding the science of wealth creation. 1. The autopilot problem. 2. The Great Divide. 3. Keystone habits. 4. Rebalancing your routine. And 5. The avalanche of success. All right, let's jump right in. Section 1. The autopilot problem. You see, the human brain is incredibly efficient. It literally puts us in zombie mode just to conserve energy. I mean, habits exist so our brains don't have to work so hard all the time. When we do something out of habit, it requires almost zero brain power. But this evolutionary hack kind of leaves us vulnerable. Because we spend 40% of our day in this thoughtless state, we are unknowingly building our own financial reality, step by step, day by day. To explain this, Tom Corley uses this absolutely brilliant metaphor, the habit seesaw. Picture a seesaw in your mind. On one side, you've got all your good daily habits, and on the other, all your bad ones. Here is the absolute game changer. Becoming wealthy is not about climbing some impossible mountain. It's actually just a mathematical equation. If more than 50% of your habits are good, boom, your seesaw tips toward wealth. If more than 50% are bad, it tips toward poverty. A standard middle-class life? That's basically just a 50-50 balance. To completely transform your life, you literally only need to tip the scale. Section 2. The Great Divide. To really grasp this divide, Corley defined rich as having an income over $160,000 a year and $3.2 million in liquid assets. Poor meant an income under $35,000 a year. Now look at this massive gap in self-education. 88% of the wealthy group read for 30 minutes or more every single day, specifically for learning and career growth. Compare that to just 2% of the lower income group. And hey, this isn't just about adults either. There was this fascinating study by Italian economists, covered in The Guardian, that found boys who simply live in a house with books end up earning significantly more as adults. Just having access to knowledge fundamentally changes your earning potential. When we look at time-wasting activities, the differences are absolutely wild. 77% of the lower income group play the lottery regularly. The rich, just 6%. 78% watch reality TV shows, compared to, again, only 6% of the wealthy. And 79% engage in regular gossip, versus just 6% of the wealthy. It turns out binge-watching reality TV and gossiping aren't exactly the ultimate wealth-building strategies. The poor habit mindset relies incredibly heavily on things that just burn time and depend on random chance, rather than focused, deliberate effort. But it goes so much deeper than just how people spend their Tuesday nights. It is a massive psychological divide. 86% of the wealthy consider themselves disciplined. They firmly believe they create their own destiny. On the exact flip side, 90% of the struggling group actually believe that fate dictated their financial circumstances. They often assume wealth just comes from random good luck, or that most rich people just inherited their money. It's a complete shift in the locus of control. Basically, who is actually sitting in the driver's seat of your life? Now, if you're sitting there feeling a bit skeptical of just one accountant study, consider how independent research completely backs all of this up. It creates this undeniable mountain of evidence. The Federal Reserve found high-income households save 15 to 20% of their income, while poor households save less than 5%. The National Bureau of Economic Research confirms lower-income households are vastly more likely to carry credit card debt. Pew Research verifies that mindset divide we just talked about, finding lower-income individuals heavily attribute wealth to external luck. And get this, the University of Chicago actually found that self-discipline is a stronger predictor of economic success than your IQ. How crazy is that? Section 3. Keystone habits. All right, if all that data feels a little heavy or depressing, here is the empowering part. You don't actually need to change your entire life overnight to fix your seesaw. You really don't. You just need to flick the right dominoes. Corley calls these keystone habits. Think of a keystone habit kind of like Pac-Man. It moves around your daily routine, automatically chomping up all your other ordinary bad habits. For example, say you decide to start running every day. You might absolutely hate it at first, but soon, naturally, you start drinking more water, you eat less junk food, maybe you even smoke less, all because you just want your runs to feel a bit easier. Just like that, one single keystone habit devours 3 bad ones. Section 4. Rebalancing your routine. So how do we actually put this into practice and start rebalancing your routine? Well, based on the Rich Habits training program, there's a very specific, actionable framework for taking back your autopilot. And it starts with a rather surprising catalyst: extreme disgust. Corley notes that true habit change often requires getting so thoroughly sick of your current circumstances that you generate this unshakable willpower. From there, you follow 3 steps. First, awareness. You literally can't fix what you don't track, so you write down everything you do for 2 whole work days to spot your bad habits. Next is chunking, which just means tackling small parts of your day at a time. And finally, habit merging. Let's take a look at what chunking actually looks like in practice. You start with just phase 1, your morning. You create a simple checklist for 30 days. Waking up early, reading for 30 minutes, getting some exercise. And here is a massive takeaway you definitely want to pay attention to. 44% of the wealthy people in the study woke up 3 hours before their workday even began. I mean, wow. They use that quiet, uninterrupted time as a critical investment in themselves, whether that's for education, planning out their goals, or grinding on a side hustle, long before the rest of the world demands their attention. Now, if building brand new habits from scratch sounds completely exhausting to you, use that shortcut we mentioned earlier, habit merging. This is where you simply tack a new rich habit onto an old existing habit. Take your daily commute, for example. Instead of just blasting music, you throw on an educational audiobook or a podcast. Suddenly, dead time becomes growth time. In fact, 63% of the wealthy individuals in the study listen to educational audio during their commute. By mastering your morning first and gradually chunking the rest of your daytime and nighttime routines, you've eventually built out a fully consolidated Rich Habits checklist. Over time, checking these boxes requires absolutely zero willpower. Your good behaviors become completely automatic. You're back on autopilot, sure, but this time, that autopilot is steering you straight toward financial security and health. Section 5. The Avalanche of Success. The absolute greatest secret of these rich habits isn't that they're going to magically make you a millionaire by next Tuesday. It's how they compound. I really love this quote from the source material. Tom Corley writes, "Think of your rich habits as snowflakes on a mountainside. At some point, they will create an avalanche of success. Saving 10% of your income, reading just 30 minutes a day, maybe cutting out a little bit of reality TV, these are tiny, almost imperceptible snowflakes. But as the years go by, they accumulate into a massive, life-changing financial event. We're talking a major promotion, launching a successful business, or finally hitting early retirement." So we've unpacked the data, we've looked at the mindset, and we've mapped out the actionable steps to automate your success. Ultimately, it all comes back to an incredibly simple mathematical equation of your daily routine. So I'm going to leave you with this one question to chew on today. Right now, in this exact moment, which side is your seesaw tipping toward? Take control of your autopilot, and I promise you, you can take control of your destiny.